What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play Bioshock Infinite! So, we have done... I did a little bit of off-screen editing there between videos to get us closer to the first tear that we're looking for here with the footprints. All of these places have the hairpin locks, so we're not... they're, you know, required locks, essentially. Let's see what's going on here.
But you two are dead. I took your funeral photo.
Yes, and made an absolute hash of it.
One doesn't expect a picture of one's corpse
To come across so lifelessly.
Dropped another voxophone.
I don't think that's the real Lady Comstock. I think she's a combination of herself and my feelings towards her.
What do you mean?
I'm just so angry. At her and at my father. I think she's her, but she's also partly me. I'm not sure I understand it myself.
That's insanity. What proof would you have that Mr. Fink would hurt the Lutesses?
The Lutesses told me.
The Lutesses? When?
Yesterday morning.
Rupert! They've been dead these 7 days.
Let me clarify a little bit what I was saying earlier there. Also, sorry, there's a little bit of background noise in this video. It's raining really hard outside right now, so... But let me clarify a little bit. I was saying that any required locks that are necessary to go through a story objective, you use the hairpin lock. It doesn't require you to consume any lockpicks that you may or may not have at that time. A little bit more editing here to bring us closer to the next tear is over here where we fought that handyman earlier at the beginning of this encounter. I jumped into this area a little too quickly and triggered these guys to spawn a little sooner than I would have liked. The hailfire is very effective if you can get them to stay in one place. But I actually have a better idea in mind. These zealots that come out here, I can get a quick kill on them with undertow by waiting for them to come over the railing here and then just blasting them off until they fall to their death. And it's wonderful. That's one of the best uses for it. It's also really the only use for the charge is if you can accomplish something like that and launch them like that. Although, like I said, I really am curious to try that Charge Devil's Kiss Vigor combo, and if anybody has any experience with that, then let me know. Eventually when I do Clash in the Clouds, and eventually when I do Clash in the Clouds, I'll demonstrate that. I don't know if Burial at Sea has that or not, so I've not played it yet, so we'll find out.
In case you need it.
Yeah, I just love the undertow, and I really not use it a whole lot right now. But there are just particular scenarios in the game that I already have kind of picked out for it. I'm basically just replicating all of my Vigor usage and combos from the previous test run. This water puddle down here can let you get a quick kill on this fireman that spawns up here, but I have an even better way of dealing with him, of course. The same way I dealt with the zealots. Just push him right off the edge. There we go. Oh, it was wonderful. He's still alive, unfortunately, but he's like farther down there to where he's not part of this encounter. And we can kind of leave the in-combat state at this point because he's so far away from us. I thought there was a tear with health kits there. There was before, actually, but the area has changed since we were last here, ever since we fought the Siren. So, things have changed a little bit. We picked up some health on that guy there, so we should be okay. Now we're going into the Bank of the Prophet. A lot of loot in here we can get. Something is definitely suspect about this place. There's 3 kinetoscopes over there on the wall, if you're going for that achievement. I find it very appropriate that it's storming outside while recording this, because this is definitely the most dark and bleak point of the game, and there was a lot of lightning off to the side there when we were outside, so this is the darkest, stormiest part of the game by far. It's kind of foreshadowing to the climax there. Very well done, very atmospheric. Alright, so there's going to be a lot of guys in this room. And you can kind of get the drop on them if you're careful, and obviously I'm not going to be. So, there's a sniper rifle up here. I just kind of want to drop it, or I rather want to pick it up, empty it, and then pick up the hand cannon again to move forward. So I want to use it for this encounter and then stop using it immediately afterward after I've emptied it. I'm not going to adjust my setup permanently. Well, maybe I will, actually. Maybe I'll hold on to it. We'll see how it goes. you're gonna see me be the worst shot ever. I cannot hit anything today. This is ridiculous. Of course, you guys saw me get off of quite a few good shots with this thing before, and now I'm just completely failing. I couldn't even hit... Look at that. I couldn't even hit this guy who's right in front of me with the shock jockey or the sniper rifle. That was ridiculous. Like I said, these body shots are still pretty effective, especially because we have the damage on this thing maxed out. But I'd rather go for those type of headshots there. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth. Sorry I'm such a disaster today. That's more like it. Really, we shouldn't even be in this situation. We should have been able to snipe all those guys before they got up here. Even those guys there with the machine guns and the big helmets can still be one shot, so... That freight hook up there is essentially useless. It doesn't really take you anywhere that you can't get to normally, and it doesn't really give you an inherent combat advantage. I might show it off, but it doesn't really even give you much of an advantage against these guys, unless you have some gear that will affect your damage or something while on skyhooks like that. It's really not worth it. There's a carbine down here, which I'm going to go ahead and use because I haven't used the carbine in a while, and I think I've upgraded it a little bit. Not as much as I probably should have at this point in the game, because a lot of people use the carbine as their go-to weapon, and I can see why. It is very good. Like I said, I really don't think that a weapon like this existed in 1912, although it wasn't far after that where weapons like this would start to exist. It's not only just good on damage, but it's also good on precision. And I almost, the first time through the game, didn't even think to fire it as fast as it really could be fired, so... Obviously, because this is a bank, there's a lot of stray, just cash lying around, a lot of money.
Need some help with this.
We're gonna get all of it, and there's the safe here, which obviously has a lot more money. We're almost about to break 2,000, which is pretty good. Allowed me to get some more upgrades before we go into the final act of the game. I'm sure to get my hand cannon again, and now we can proceed. I could have actually kept that carbine because I had a lot of ammo for it, but just not nearly as good as the hand cannon. Not because just because I've upgraded the hand cannon so much more. Alright, I'm kind of going off the beaten path over here a little bit to do some exploration, because there's some gear drops in this area and some other good stuff as well. Remember we found I actually showed this off screen, but we picked up a Vox cipher earlier, so we have to find what the code goes to. And here we get one of my favorite gear drops in the game, Overkill. And what that does is if we get a critical hit on an enemy that kills it, like a headshot or something, it will chain vigor type effects to other nearby enemies. So if I shoot a well, it'll chain electricity specifically. So like if I kill a guy with a headshot, it'll chain electricity to all the nearby enemies and stun them, which makes them again more susceptible to damage, which means they're gonna take a critical hit, and you just get these ridiculous combo kills one after another, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It was one of the gear that I got at the beginning of the game. With the gear drops from the Day 1 DLC, right there when you first pick up the shield at the beginning of the game. And so I had it for the entire run of my last test run. I was hoping I would get it, and thankfully I got it. It's awesome.
To spell the voice.
3 letters.
VOX.
Alright, so we found found where the code goes to. We just need to enter it. Unlocks the secret room with an infusion. We've almost got all the infusions in the game. We're getting really close to maxing out our shield here. As you can see, the shield bar is still going to be very, very short compared to the health bar. So maxing out your health is very important too. You shouldn't just dump all of your infusions into your shield.
The prophet is a murderer, but he cannot be. For if the future lies only in the imagination of God, why would he reveal it to such a monster?
Alright, so now getting back on track, we're going to go back out to the main room we came in from. And this is the vault right here. It's this massive, massive vault door. So we've got to get in on the other side there. Ooh, something is going on over there. Some kind of zealot. I don't think there's anything up here. Yeah, there's nothing up here. Alright, time to demonstrate that overkill. We can get a couple good shots on these guys. Alright, you see what happened there? Now let's see what happens if we have multiple enemies. It's absolutely brutal. Oh, I love it so much. Not only is it incredibly satisfying, but you will be surprised in the type of situations where this will happen. That combined with the splash damage upgrade and the gear that allows you to, what is it, Storm? Yeah, Storm that chains. Storm and Overkill are some of the best ones in the game, I feel like, personally, just from my experience. And I haven't really experimented with that many of them, granted. Some of them I do admit that they're good. But they limit you in other ways, and they're very specific. There's a sniper rifle here if I wanted it. I think I might actually pick it up. It was dropped by that random sniper enemy that's for some reason on the ground. But man, this thing is good. Like I said, if you have the Storm and this, you know, you have these ridiculous AoE attacks that are all chaining together with other enemies, and it's great. And bigger combos like with the Shock Jockey or the Devil's Kiss, combined with splash damage weapons like this or the rocket launcher, it's phenomenal. That's the ideal setup I'd like to have for the game, but I can't do it because it's random. So finally we're fighting the Zealot here, which appears to be unique. He's got a weird like red coat. He disappeared. Who was he? We may never know.
And if I do this sabotage, all their patents, all of them, Mr. Fink. Now, why does the Prophet want these two killed?
For the same reason Lady Comstock lies buried.
Child. And why does he want me to do it?
Because only you can make it seem an accident.
The Archangel tells me that Columbia will only survive so long as my line sits the throne. Yet Lady Comstock produces no child. I have done what a man can do, yet there is no child. I've asked Lutece about the matter, but even she refuses to help.
Something is definitely not right here. Maybe Elizabeth is the one that's more than meets the eye, because the Lutecas in some of these voxophones have been referring to her as, you know, the experiment and stuff like that, and they seem to think that her birth was not, strictly speaking, conventional.
Holy science.
Man, I am loaded on cash right now.
I do not know which is true. The child is no more divine than I. What says that from my husband's prophecy? He begs my silence, but I can only offer him forgiveness.
Guess what, guys? We have to fight the Siren again! And this fight is exactly the same as the previous one. There's another heater back there if you want to use it. I'm actually going to be doing this fight off screen so I can edit back to where we were before, because it just takes so much time.